Well, lockdown two's come. How are we going to thrive in lockdown two? Doesn't feel very exciting, does it, like lockdown one? Do you know, it reminds me of holidays. Holidays where you went on a new place and it was exciting and there were great views and wonderful hotel and a marvellous restaurants, and you came back buzzing and you said, oh, we've got to go back there next year, it was so good. So you went back next year. It was the same, but it wasn't the same, was it? Do you remember how things had changed, and although the halts were there, nothing was quite the same, and the holiday had a little bit less buzz about it. I think lockdown 2 feels like that, just a little bit less buzz about it. But I do think we need to thrive still. I think there are two things in lockdown 2 that we can do. First of all is to remind ourselves to be people that bless our community. And one way we can do that is to love our neighbour. Do you remember Jesus talks about that? He says, love your neighbour as yourself. That's a big love, actually. We love ourselves hugely. Love our neighbour as ourselves. It means that we need to think of how we can care for them. It's a vulnerable neighbour. Would it be good to give them a phone call? Would it be good to perhaps do their shopping? Would it be good, actually, even to give them some money? Anonymously, probably, in an envelope through the door, because you know they've lost their job, you know they've got no income, you know the bills are piling up, and it just help them. And the other thing to do, well, is to bless our community. There's a story in Israel where they were thrown into exile, and they were taken out of Jerusalem all the way to Babylon, far, far away. It was such a different place. They longed to quickly return back to the normal they knew of Jerusalem, but it wasn't going to be. And the prophet Jeremiah wrote to them and said to them, no, you stay there. You're going to have to stay there 70 years. That won't be us in lockdown 2. But he also told them, invest in that place. Be a blessing to that community. He wrote these words in his prophecy, chapter 29. Says this, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. We're to call on the Lord to pray for the peace and prosperity of our community, our town, our nation. So there's two things we can do in lockdown 2 to make it a positive experience: to love our neighbour as ourselves, and to seek the peace and prosperity of our town and community and land.